So what are we talking about today?
Today we're talking about the imperial system versus the metric system.
Ah, I didn't know that it was even called the imperial system.
Oh, yeah.
I just thought it was the metric system and then the stupid thing that the Americans use.
Well, yes,
Okay.
that also explains it. But the official name is the imperial system.
Hmm.
And it doesn't make any goddamn sense.
Pretty dumb.
It's pretty dumb. The dumbest part is that, like, if everyone used it, it would be fine. But the dumbest part is that only a few countries use it.
Just a few of us difficult ones.
Yeah.
We're
Including
special.
the U.S. So that's what we're talking about today.
Nice.
Hi, welcome to Everything's Dumb. My name is Victoria.
I'm Kate.
So, when I was a kid,
Okay.
my...
Like a year ago.
Yes, very recently.
We're both so young.
Very young. My parents, specifically my dad,
Mm-hmm.
would lie to me
Okay.
about a lot of things. I think this is probably...
Is he okay?
He's fine.
Okay.
I think this is quite common for parents to do. Like, you tell your kids little fibs here and there
Okay.
to try to get them to eat their vegetables or to go to bed on time,
Gotcha.
etc.
Gotcha.
And I hear all the time people saying that later in life they find out that something is not true that their parents told them. And this happens to me all the time because my parents would lie to me all the time. So I specifically remember that. So I've talked a lot about how I grew up way out in the country.
Yes.
Like way out in the country.
Yep.
And there was just one like country road that went by our house, and of course it didn't have any street lights, and we didn't have any neighbors. We didn't have any neighbors whose lights, we could see from our yard. So I remember my dad going out to his car one time at night to go get something, and he didn't take a flashlight or anything.
Okay.
And I was like watching him from the window, and I was like, how could you see out there? How could you see to go out to your car? And he was like, oh, I eat carrots and they make me see in the dark. And so I thought, I don't think I knew who Superman was at the time, but in my mind, eating carrots gave you like X-ray vision, like perfect vision, like nighttime vision.
Gotcha.
Like Superman, I guess. And so I just thought for years that if I ate carrots, I would be able to just walk around at night and it would look like daytime.
Oh.
And then he also would tell me a lot of times for lunch I would eat my sandwich, but I wouldn't eat the crusts of the bread.
Okay.
Because
Gotta make room for all those carrots.
Well, I still to this day don't like bread that, like, I don't like whole wheat bread or anything that has like nuts or seeds in it or whatever. I pretty much just like sourdough or like French bread.
Okay.
Are you one of those seedy people?
I fucking love seeds in bread.
Oh,
that's
so like my
good.
mom. She's like, get something really like rustic with a lot of like bits in it, and I'm like, no.
So good, extra like flavors, and when you toast it, it like toasts the seeds. Oh my god, so good.
No,
you're crazy.
Okay, well, different strokes, I guess. Anyway, so I would not eat the nasty like whole wheat crust on my sandwiches because it was gross. And when I got home from school every day, my dad would like unpack my lunchbox and he'd be like, you didn't eat your crusts again.
Wait, I'm sorry, you would bring them home?
Yeah.
Well, did they not have trash cans at your school?
No, I guess I could have thrown them away and hidden the evidence.
Yeah,
I guess I just brought them
Did you
home.
bring back like the apple core?
No.
Okay.
But I also
the
didn't
banana
eat
peel?
No.
Then why would you, what?
I don't know. But that's not the point. The point is that he got me to eat my crusts by telling me that it would make my hair curly.
Okay.
He told me it would make my hair like really shiny and curly. And so then I started eating my crusts.
Okay.
But that was a lie.
Yeah.
That was a dirty lie.
Yeah.
So that's that.
Okay. I don't know why you bring them home. Okay.
That's the part of the story that you're
Yeah, no,
on?
that's all I can think about, actually. It's just you, like, eating your sandwich and then, like, tucking the parts that you didn't eat back into the lunchbox.
Well, back into the Tupperware.
Like, for later.
Well, sometimes on the ride home from school, I would be really hungry, and then I would get out the crusts and eat them.
Okay.
And my dad, who would pick me up from school and drive me home, he would always be like, "Oh, you're eating your crusts. I thought you didn't like your crusts." And I'd be like, "Oh, I'm so hungry." And then he would always tell me, "Hunger is the best sauce." And that's why I ate my crusts, because I was so hungry. And when you're hungry, everything tastes better.
I guess this was very nice of your dad, in retrospect, to convince you to eat the crust rather than just, like, not feed you dinner until you did.
Oh, no. I don't...
Because that would be an option. I mean, if you would eat them when you were hungry enough...
method.
You could just... If
Yeah.
you just pushed back dinner from, like, 6 to 7, maybe you'd have your crust.
Yeah. I can't really see my whole family moving dinner time.
That's true.
For the youngest child.
I guess it
didn't like nasty, seedy bread.
Easier to lie.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Were your parents liars?
I can't really think of any. I guess, like, I think the one example that I thought of when you were mentioning this was when I was a kid, I went to see the movie Hocus Pocus in theaters with my mom.
Okay.
And I think my mom was just excited to see Bette Miller and Sarah Jessica Parker in a movie. And we went and saw that movie. And if you've ever seen that movie, they talk about how a virgin needs to light the candle to bring back the ghosts.
Yeah.
And they mention the word virgin a lot. And at my age, at the time, I didn't know what that meant. I was quite young. And I had never heard the word virgin before, especially so many times throughout a film that was marketed to children.
Yeah, that's strange.
And so I naturally, in the theater, tugged on my mom's shoulder and went like, "What's a virgin?" And she, in real time, had to come up with an explanation in a movie theater as a movie is playing.
Yeah.
Something succinct and short enough and enough to get me to just shut up and watch the end of the movie. And so I don't know whether this was a lie. It was kind of, looking back on it, she wasn't Catholic, but this was very Catholic propaganda. I asked, "What's a virgin?" And she said, "A really good person."
Oh.
And that was enough, I guess, to get me to go, "Oh, okay." And then the whole rest of the movie, I'm like, why is he so embarrassed about everyone calling him a really good person? So that one didn't quite make sense. Again, it was enough to get me to shut up in the theater.
It was an answer.
And it was also, I don't think I brought it up after that. Well, like, that didn't really make sense because why was he so, I didn't follow up. I think maybe I just knew that was the best answer I was going to get. And then I think maybe more in line with what you're talking about, like for nutrition or, I don't know, safety, I guess in this case. It wasn't my parents, but I do remember going to the dentist and getting a cavity filled one time, and when the first time I got Novocaine.
Oh.
And I remember them saying, "Don't bite your lip."
Yeah.
Because you'll put a hole in it.
Yeah.
And I understand now that that's because you don't know how hard you're biting down because your lip is numb.
You can't feel it.
But I thought that if you had Novocaine in your face and your tooth touched your lip, it would burst open.
Oh my God.
And there would be a permanent hole in your lip because I didn't quite understand what was going on.
Jesus.
But that I don't think was true. I don't think that they were trying to tell me, like, don't. But I was afraid. I did not. My lips were just, like, frozen. And I could not until I could feel them again. And then I didn't even know that, like, once the Novocaine wears off and you can feel it, you're fine.
Yeah.
I was just like, I don't want to put a hole in my lip.
Kids just take things so literally.
Yeah, so seriously. It was a very serious, and they said it in a very stern, like, serious, because obviously they don't want you biting your lip if your lip is numb. But as a child, you just think, like, my face is going to explode.
Yeah. Yeah, when I was a kid, I got a cavity filled, and my family was on our way up to my grandparents' house in Maryland.
Okay.
And for some reason, we left Crozet.
How far of a drive is that?
Depending on traffic, probably like 3 hours.
Okay.
So we left our house and we drove into Charlottesville, and then my mom took me to the dentist, and I think my dad took my siblings to the local bagel shop.
Oh.
And got bagels to eat on the drive up to...
Okay, not just for them. Not like, well, Victoria gets to go to the dentist, and then everybody else gets to have it.
They did get me a bagel, but then when they came back to pick up my mom and me after my cavity was filled... I got Novocaine, so my mouth was numb.
So you couldn't
and
eat.
I couldn't eat.
Yeah.
And these bagels, if you're ever in Charlottesville, Virginia, you have to go to Bodo's Bagels. They're the best bagels on the planet. And so I was just sitting in the car, like so mad that everyone else in the car was eating these delicious bagels, and I was just sitting there and I couldn't eat. And my mouth was numb and my tongue was numb. It was awful. I was so mad. My mom and I talked about that recently, and she was like, I feel so bad. I was like, good.
Did they tell you that if you tried to eat a bagel, you would put a hole in your lip?
They didn't mention my lip, but they did say that I could, like, bite through my tongue. So they did traumatize me in a different way.
Yeah.
Why don't dentists know how to talk to kids?
I don't know.
Like, how about explaining your tongue is numb, and if you bite it, you won't be able to feel it, and so you might hurt yourself. That would have been a fine explanation. Don't tell me I'm going to bite part of my tongue off.
Yeah, I think they'd rather go overboard than have you be like, it's fine.
Yeah. Oof. Goodness. Well, back to the carrot thing real fast. Carrots actually do have vitamin A, which is good for your eyes.
Right.
But don't tell me I'm going to be able to see in the dark.
He really wanted you to
I'm a child.
I mean, he at least went with the more true option.
Yeah.
He could have said your crusts.
Yeah.
If you eat your bread crust, that's why I can see in the dark, is because I can eat my bread, is because I eat all my bread crusts. I can also fly, but only when you're not looking. That, I mean, there's a reason I don't have kids.
There are a lot of reasons I don't have kids.
Yeah.
Okay, so the metric system, which almost the entire world uses.
Yeah, I've heard of it.
I did not know this. It was created in France.
Okay.
After the French Revolution.
Interesting.
Yes. And they basically wanted to come up with a universal system of measurements because they would use the measurement of foot, which is like what we have.
Right.
But it would vary because people would literally use their own feet to measure things.
That's not how measuring works.
Exactly.
Okay.
And so they realized that it was foolish. So, like, literally from town to town, the measurements would be completely different because nothing was uniform.
Cool.
So France came up with a metric system. It uses the power of 10.
Yes.
So, I'm not actually going to do all of this math, but, like, a meter is a measurement.
Yes.
A kilometer, I'm assuming, is 1,000 meters.
Yes.
I guess I very easily could have looked that up. A gram is a weight. A meter and a kilometer are lengths.
Distances.
A gram is a weight, and then a kilogram is another weight.
Yes.
See how they both have the word gram in them. Anyway, a liter is volume, etc., etc. And then it was spread around Europe by Napoleon.
Ah.
Yeah.
Gross.
Napoleon was pretty bad, but
Sounds like a disease.
It was spread around. Well, he, went out on his little conquests, and he would try to take over countries, but then he would also bring the metric system with him. So as a
consolation prize.
Yeah. I keep reading things about Napoleon that were actually, like, pretty good, and I know that he was not a good guy, but he did some good things. Not trying to justify anything, just saying, like, that's interesting. I didn't know that he's the one who spread it around.
So, is the reason that the United States does not use the metric system, is it just rooted in a deep hatred for the French?
No.
Oh.
So, we started using the Imperial system, which is what we currently use. It is technically called the British Imperial system.
Okay.
And so we started using it because the U.S. was colonized by Britain. And it comes from measurements from ancient Rome and Anglo-Saxon measurements, which Anglo-Saxon is just like Britain, and then Norman measurements, and I'm assuming that refers to Normandy.
Oh, okay. I literally just thought it was some dude named Norman. Like, all right, just making up my own measurements. I don't think so. Back then, I feel like if you were a dude, you could just say you were going to do something.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now that exists because you said it.
Well, Norman refers to post the Battle of Hastings, England. So the Battle of Hastings was in 1066.
Okay.
And that's when William the Conqueror came over from France.
Billy.
And conquered England.
Seems apt for the name.
And actually, this is not anything to do with what we're talking about today, but fun little fact. You know how we call, like when you eat a cow, you call it beef?
Okay.
But then when you eat a chicken, you just call it chicken?
Oh, sure.
Or when you eat, what is mutton? Is that sheep? It's not lamb, right? It's just sheep.
You are asking the wrong person.
So the word beef and the word mutton both come from French words.
Okay.
And those are like more expensive cuts of meat. And so like when the French came over and conquered England, those French bastards, the upper class people would eat beef and mutton, which is why they used those fancy words.
Okay.
And then the peasants would eat chickens. And so they would just use the English word, which is chicken.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, like, if you eat an animal and you call it by the name of the animal, it's probably a more affordable meat.
Fish.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
But, like, you don't say I'm having cow for dinner. You say I'm having beef.
I certainly don't.
Right. Well, even if you ate meat, you wouldn't say that.
Yeah, that's true.
But anyway, so yeah, the U.S. uses the Imperial system, which comes from England. And Thomas Jefferson was the ambassador to France, and he saw that they were using the metric system, and he was like, well, this is really smart. This makes a lot of sense. Let's do this. Uh-huh. And then he came back to the U.S. and was just like, hey, guys, they're using this system over there, and it's really cool. We should do it. And everyone was like, oh, cool. But then, like, no one did anything about it. No one was like, let's write up a new bill that introduces...
I have never related to Jefferson more. Hey, you guys want to get together sometime? Yeah.
Awesome.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Okay.
No follow through.
We'll just, yep.
Yeah. So we could have had the metric system this whole time. But he was distracted. He read a lot of books. He was busy. So anyway, the U.S. and Liberia and Myanmar, which I think used to be known as Burma, potentially. I'm going to fact check that before I leave that in. Those three countries use the imperial system.
Wow.
All
the powerhouses.
Yeah.
Like, it makes sense.
Yeah.
The axis of the imperial system.
Liberia, which I don't think I could point to on a map.
Right.
And then Myanmar, which I know is somewhere in Asia.
I mean, it's who we trade with the most,
exactly.
Obviously. The people that we are closest allies.
Yeah.
And that's why we're all together, because we're all imperial system buddies.
It would make sense if, first of all, Britain... I love the UK. I love it with my whole heart. I love it so much. However, do not give us the imperial system and then switch over to the metric. That is so slimy. Like, take your shitty units of measurement with you. Like, that's not fair. But they
just crop dusted us with the imperial system and then just fucked off with your...
We found a better system.
Metric. God damn it.
But they actually, in the UK, I mean, you will hear British people talk about pounds and miles and stuff like
money,
that.
Right?
Well, I meant pounds as opposed to...
I know.
Yeah.
It was a joke.
It was a joke.
It was an attempt at a joke.
Anyway, so we use really fun measurements such as the foot, which again is the length of the average foot.
Wasn't it some king's foot?
The yard is reportedly the distance from King Henry I's nose to his thumb. I guess when his arm is outstretched.
Oh, not, yeah. Because that would be...
I don't want to put my... No, that's not... That's too close.
Yeah.
It's like half a centimeter.
Yard. So then he was... Because a yard is 3 feet, right? Yeah, because he was 6 feet tall.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Because your wingspan from fingertip to fingertip is your height.
Yeah.
So I guess maybe from your thumb. Maybe he was a little over 6 feet. But still.
Well, no, he must have been shorter. Because from your fingertip to your fingertip, if that's 6 feet.
That's true, yes.
Oh, he was probably only like 5'5".
I mean, back then, wasn't it like the
guy.
average size of
yeah
humans at that point?
They were shorter because they didn't have as much food.
And they weren't using the metric system.
Yeah. I wonder if I would be taller.
In meters.
Yeah. I'm not going to do that, math.
We could Google that.
Later. We could. Are we going to? No. We're not going to. Okay, so the main reason that the U.S. did not switch is because...
Laziness.
You know, sort of.
Capitalism and greed.
Yeah.
Bing, bing,
so
bing, bing.
by the time, I mean, Jefferson suggested
right.
the idea that it would be cool if we switched, but they didn't actually do anything about it. By the time...
Sorry. You know what's crazy is that Jefferson really tried to push for that and it didn't happen. Meanwhile, Ben Franklin's over in France just casually mentioning daylight savings as a thought that popped into his head while he was probably drunk. And like centuries later, that actually gets implemented. Meanwhile, we are still not able to get to the fucking metric system.
Yeah. Well, I don't know how hard Jefferson pushed for it. Like, it's not like he was lobbying for it.
But still.
But I think he did
Ben
tell
Franklin
all
had
his
to
buddies.
Mention it.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I don't know. I wish we used it, but we don't. Everything we do is fun. So, the main reason that we did not switch is that once people started pushing for us to switch, a lot of our industry and manufacturing had already been set up and they were already using the Imperial system.
Right.
So they were like, well, if we're going to overhaul all these systems, it's going to be way too expensive.
Gotcha.
And then the other thing, which is really fucking stupid, is that it was seen as part of traditional American life. And people didn't want to switch because they were like, this is America and we use feet and inches.
Good Christian values and inches.
Yeah. Like, people are so stubborn.
Don't guys know how much bigger their dicks would sound in centimeters?
Yeah. Well, I mean, they clearly don't know. If that occurred to them, we would have laws by now.
Yeah.
Like, banning any use of the Imperial system.
Of course.
Yep. I guess that hasn't occurred to them.
You heard it here first.
Yeah. That's really funny. I didn't think about that.
I think I just solved America's problem. That one.
Yeah.
It's the tiny one at the end of a long list, but we cross that buddy off and then get to someone else can do the rest. I'm done.
Well, we can start with the smaller issues.
Yeah.
And I think this, like, getting daylight savings made permanent.
Yes.
I think this could be a very easy fix.
Yes.
That would really help things out.
Yeah.
So this is like a big issue, but with a very simple solution.
Something. We need something.
We need something good to happen. We just lost the fucking Tonight Show.
Late night.
We just lost fucking... I don't know what anything's called.
The Tonight Show is the one on NBC. Late night.
Oh, okay. The Tonight Show is with Jimmy Fallon.
Correct.
And his Ben and Jerry's flavor is the Tonight Dough.
Correct.
Okay. And then Late Night. Why do they all have the same name?
Well, so
why are we doing this?
NBC has the Tonight Show, and then CBS has Late Night, and then after the Tonight Show on NBC, it's The Late Show. Or no.
With Seth Meyers.
Sorry.
Late Night
is the Late
Seth
Show?
Meyers.
No, The Late Show is Stephen Colbert. Late Night is Seth Meyers.
The Late Show, and then also Late Night and The Tonight Show.
Yeah, but The Late Show and Late Night are on two different they're not on the same network.
It's so confusing.
It's The Tonight Show and then Late Night, and then The Late Show, and then I don't know what's after that. It used to be after midnight. I don't think there's anything anymore. But yeah.
I like all these shows.
Yeah.
And I love Stephen Colbert.
I more know them by than it's Jimmy Fallon, it's Stephen Colbert, it's Seth Meyers.
I know
the late tonight, today, nighttime, now it's nighttime show. Yeah.
I know who does a show.
Yeah.
And how that show normally goes.
Right.
I just don't know what the official name is.
Yes. Correct.
So, yeah, that's depressing. The main issue with the Imperial system is that it's random.
Yes.
Like a pound is 16 ounces.
Right.
And then you have a cup is 8 ounces, but then
a foot is 12 inches.
Yeah.
Like, it's not even like 16 is the number you just have to remember across the board or anything, which would still be more confusing than 10. Obviously, 10 is the easiest to, like, multiply by and divide by and all that kind of stuff. But the fact that it's just random fucking numbers for each different unit of measurement. Like, I remember when I was in 5th grade or whatever it is that you learn all of those different units of measurement that you, of course, never remember, and now it's all on my phone. But when I was in that grade and you had to learn, like, I think at the time they called it the English system and the metric system. I don't know, maybe that was just the Catholic school I went to. But when you had to learn those two, and it was clearly so much easier for the teachers to teach the metric system and clearly so much easier for you to remember, like, those quizzes were nothing compared to the one about the English or Imperial system. And so I remember my teacher saying something about how, like, we could switch to the metric system, everybody else uses the metric system. And I think that was the first time I had ever heard the phrase, like, write your congressman or something like that, because that was literally, like, the only way that that would get changed. Is it would have to be, like, the government deciding to switch us over to the other system. And so I remember my 5th grade teacher kind of adamantly being like, yeah, it'd be great if we just, because he didn't want to teach the stupid Imperial system to a bunch of kids that wouldn't remember it very well, especially when there was such an easier alternative. Yeah, it's very confusing. A pound is 16 ounces, and then a ton is like 2,000 pounds. But then there's the Imperial ton, which is 2,000 pounds, and then there's the metric ton, which is TONNE, which is like 2,000 something. It just doesn't. It's so stupid. Yep. And then a foot is 12 inches, and then a mile is 5,280 feet. Yep. That's a random number. Totally random number. Why are we doing it like this? No idea. And then I always struggle when I'm at the gym with a kilogram is, oh my God, is either 2.2 pounds or a pound is 2.2 kilograms. I will never know. Okay. I don't know. I'm always like, I lifted 100 pounds today, or was it 100 kilograms? I don't remember. Yeah, sorry, I can't help you. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. And I look it up constantly, and I can never remember. So, it's just stupid that, and like okay, a tablespoon is 3 teaspoons. Yeah. And then there are what, eight tablespoons in half a cup, because I think a stick of butter is half a. So there's 16 tablespoons in a cup. Mm-hmm. But then there's a cup, like, volume versus ounces in volume versus ounces in weight. Oh, that's just, the dumbest. And then apparently there's something out there called a fucking bushel. What? Wasn't that a question at trivia one time? And we were like, why are you asking us this? Doesn't that refer to, like, when you get peaches, you get, like, a peck or a bushel? Yeah. And it was like, which one is smaller, like a bushel or a whatever? And I was just like, peck? Why would I know this? A peck, I think, is smaller than a bushel. A peck does sound smaller. Yes. I think there's like 4 pecks in a bushel. Okay. I don't know. Why? I don't know. Why? I don't know. Why did everyone just get to, it seems like everyone just got to come up with their own measurement. Yeah. And there was no group text. Nobody talked to each other and said, like, hey, I'm using, units of 12. I'm using units of 16. I called the word ounce for measurements for pounds, like for weight. Right. I didn't, you can't use the word ounce for volume because I already called dibs.
So annoying. And then also, I always thought that a meter and a yard were the same measurement, but I think a yard is
like slightly. It's like so stupidly different. Like not different enough. Because there's like a meter stick and a yardstick.
I think a yardstick is 3 feet, so it's 36 inches, but then a meter is like 37 inches or 32. I clearly don't know.
It's so dumb.
But like, it's all so stupid.
Yep.
Anyway, I could have done a lot more research here, but that's not the point. The point is that it's dumb.
I don't think you need more research to come up with an opinion that this is just absolutely
And
stupid.
even if I had researched it, I would have immediately forgotten because
none of it matters.
It's too many numbers.
It's all stupid.
Yeah.
Just look it up on your phone because none of it makes sense.
Yeah. So there's an episode of Bob's Burgers that's one of my favorite episodes. It's called Ain't Miss Debatin'. And Tina joins the debate club at her school. And her teacher tells her that she's going to debate the metric system.
Yes.
Like, that's the topic of her first debate. And she's like, oh, great, the metric system is fantastic, blah, 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 blah. And she gives all these reasons. And they're like, oh, no, you're going to be pro-Imperial. And then she was like, oh, God. And then during the debate, she came up with this amazing line that was like, if someone tells you thanks a ton, you won't know how much they're thanking you. And like, it's just a silly episode, and the New Zealand kid is in it, which is great. Duncan.
Yes.
With his chesties.
What's his name? Right? Riz Darby?
Riz Darby.
Yes.
Well, I don't know how to pronounce it,
From
but yes, that's
Flight
him.
of the Conchords.
Yes.
Amazing.
Yes. Anyway, so she somehow managed to find a way to say one good thing about the Imperial system, but it still sucks. And we shouldn't use it anymore.
Yep.
Cool. Glad we're on the same page.
You and, I almost said Benjamin Franklin. You and
Thomas Jefferson
on the same page.
That's right.
About everything.
Except the main thing.
Except the one, maybe.
Except that one big thing.
Maybe he would have spent a little bit more time convincing people to switch to metric and a little less time hanging out at home. That would have been good. Using his centimeters.
Oh, God. Terrible. Okay, so I heard about a cat named Titan. It lives in Athens, Greece.
Okay.
And I read an article about it, and the title of the article was, "This cat is so fat that its location is on Google Maps." Which, why do you gotta bring his weight into this? Like, that's...
I don't know.
That's so rude.
Are all fat things on Google Maps?
I think they were saying, like, he is so, like, his mass is such so that he shows up on Google Maps. But anyway, people, like, pinned where, and he's a, like, street cat.
Gotcha.
They pinned where he is on Google Maps, and then people would go to Athens and find him and, like, pet him and give him treats, and then they would leave a review of Titan. So he has, like, 5-star reviews.
Oh, my God.
Anyway, so that got me thinking about all the crazy things that are on Google Maps. So this might not be, like, the best thing to be doing on a podcast, but I'm going to do it anyway.
Good.
I suggest that you guys look these up because they're very funny. So there's a website called Tech Advisor, and they have a list called 25 Funny Google Street View Pictures.
Your favorite website.
This is what I think you guys should look up because it's really funny. So, I don't know if you can see the screen, Kate.
Okay.
But there is, in Japan, a place where people just put these, like, full rubber masks over their heads.
Okay. That
come, like, all the way down to their neck, like a Halloween, like the movie Halloween.
Yeah.
The Mike Myers mask.
Okay.
And they're pigeons.
Okay.
So these are the pigeon people in Japan.
Okay.
I tried to find this on Google Maps. It has been removed, so you have to go to Google and look it up, and then you can find a picture. And how horrifying is that? That looks like it's out of a horror movie.
So what? Why?
For fun, I think.
Oh.
Like, they saw the Google thing driving around, and they put on the masks.
Okay, this is, like, specifically for the Google car.
I think it's just for the Google car.
Not
I don't
just
think that
the
this
people
is, like,
in
a
this
cult.
Japanese town are
This guy is
pigeons.
wearing literally, like, a Mike Myers jumpsuit, though.
Okay.
How fucking creepy is that? There is some stupid stuff on here. Like, there's a place in England where the speed limit was 30 kilometers per hour. And there's one of those signs that tells you how fast you're going.
Uh-huh.
And as the Google car was approaching it, it said 37. And so they got caught speeding on Google because they took that picture and then they posted it.
Nice.
There's a carriage, like a horse-drawn carriage on the highway.
Sure.
Which seems dangerous.
Yeah.
Oh, this one in Scotland, there's a car that drove off a ditch.
Oh my God.
Or, sorry, off a cliff into a ditch.
Okay.
And these people are just standing around looking at the car like, we don't know what to do about this.
Interesting.
And it reminds me of when I was a kid in my hometown, we had a library.
What?
Hold on. In my hometown, there was like one little intersection, and that was like the main part of town.
Okay.
And there was a Dairy Queen with a gas station, and then on the other side of the street, there was the library. And then on the other side of the street, because it was like a four-way intersection, there was Crozet Pizza and like a nail salon or a hair salon or something. Anyway, so I remember someone like trying to leave the library parking lot, and they drove the back part of their car like over the little wall, and it was just hanging off in midair.
Oh my God.
And it was a minivan. And I think there were, like, children in the car.
Oh, Jesus.
And the front of their car was still on the parking lot, and so it didn't, like, fall over. But I remember it was the most exciting thing to happen. And I was trying to drive through downtown Crozet.
Mm-hmm. The metropolis.
Yeah.
During rush hour? Dear God.
Yeah, when there are, like, 3 cars stopped at that stop sign.
Wow.
That's...
A stop sign, not even a stoplight, just a stop sign. Okay.
No, that's like a traffic jam.
Wow.
Yeah, but I remember people were getting out of their cars to watch. It was like the big exciting thing. And I'm sure...
Some kid came along selling popcorn.
Yeah. I'm sure whoever drove that car was so embarrassed.
Well, yeah.
But it was just like...
Still being talked about to this day.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Literally. By me.
Yeah, exactly.
Man, I grew up in a really small town. So my recommendation is, first of all, Google Titan, the cat who lives in Athens.
Yes.
Because he is really cute.
Aww.
He is quite chonky.
I would hope so.
But as the owner of...
With that kind of name and reputation.
A chonky cat.
Giada.
Giada, who looks like she weighs 3 pounds.
Yeah.
I don't know how it happened. I don't know how Bobby got so big. It's not my fault. This stray cat in Athens.
Right.
I mean, he's a stray. Like, do you think he's just being fed treats by everyone who, like, how is he so
I
fat?
certainly hope so.
Yeah.
I mean, why not?
He's really cute. But that's it. Google has funny things on it.
How much do you think he weighs in metric?
Okay, so kilograms? Is that the thing that's close to a pound?
Sure.
I don't know. My brain doesn't even know how to...
No idea.
Figure out how to answer that question.
No idea.
He might weigh... Let's say he weighs 20 pounds.
Oh.
So you either divide by 2.2 or you multiply by 2.2. I don't know. There's no way to know this. There's no way to find out.
There's no way to figure this out.
No.
Nope. It'll never be solved.
Yeah. So anyway, like I said, maybe not the best segment for a podcast, but you should Google all this shit because it's really funny. Google the pigeon people and then Google
pigeon
Titan.
People. Just Google the pigeon people. I'm sure that's a band.
Wait.
I know that's a band.
Let me see what comes up.
Google it. Live Google.
There's a movie called The Pigeon People.
All right.
It takes you deep into Arizona's underground pigeon racing scene as racing rivals prepare for and compete in the Grand Canyon Classic. Is this a documentary?
I don't know,
or
but we have to watch
movie?
it. I really hope it's not actual pigeons racing. I really just want it to be people in those pigeon masks racing in Arizona for no reason.
No.
Absolutely no reason.
I think it's real birds.
No, I think it's got to be people.
Well, anyway, if you scroll down, there's an article about the pigeon people.
Okay.
in Musashino,
Yep.
Tokyo.
That's exactly it.
Okay, our next episode, which will be out on Monday, is going to be about drug laws.
Yay. For all those pigeon people.
Oh, that would make more sense if they were on drugs.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like mescaline.
It would also make more sense, like, if they were just always like that. That wasn't for Google.
Yeah.
That's just how they roll.
I mean, as long as they're not hurting anyone,
sure.
Then it doesn't matter.
Exactly. It shouldn't be against the law to be a pigeon.
How creeped out would you be, though, if you were walking down the street and you saw someone in a pigeon mask?
Yeah. I think I would need to be on drugs at that point.
Yeah. I think I would just, like, hard U-turn and just immediately walk in the opposite direction.
Yeah.
I'd be like, this person is probably up to no good. Like, there's a 97% chance that they're up to no good.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't think of a lot of good coming from giant pigeon mask people.
No. Well, thank you for listening and watching. And you can catch more audio episodes on Spotify, Apple Podcasts.
Yes.
Oh, right. I'm not supposed to look at you. I'm just supposed to do it. You can find more video episodes on
really wish
Spotify.
I had a pigeon mask that I could put on right now so that when you're looking away and then you look back, I'm in a pigeon.
I would cry.
Now I have Halloween plans.
I would cry.
Now we have Halloween plans.
If I glanced away for a second and then I looked back at you and you had a full pigeon mask that came down to your...
Yeah. What if I just...
No. Okay, I'm gonna have nightmares about this. Pigeons aren't supposed to be scary, but like...
Well, they're not full-sized humans. If they were the size of humans, they would be fucking terrifying.
Yeah.
If they were the size of fully grown adult humans, and they had heads the size of human heads, I don't think that we would be like, oh, it's just a pigeon.
Yeah. Ugh.
Let's feed it some bread.
Oh my god, you put your hand out with like a little piece of bread and
it rips your arm off.
Hole in your... Yeah. A hole in your hand.
Yep.
Like you could bite a hole in your lip.
Exactly.
Oh,
those Novocaine pigeon feeders.
Oh, God. Okay, well, now I feel like I'm becoming scared of birds. Like, the more we talk about this, the more I'm becoming uncomfortable.
Real pigeons are not that large.
I feel like if they make a sequel to that Birds movie that I've never seen, I feel like they're going to make them really big.
I really wish it was called That Birds Movie. It would be such a better title.
That Birds
I was
movie.
traumatized by that Birds movie when I was a kid.
Which Birds movie? No, that's the name of the movie. It's That Birds Movie. Oh my god. Okay. I think I was at the part where I say that you can find video episodes on YouTube
yes.
and Spotify.
Yes.
Okay. And you can follow us on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube at everythingsdumb. You can email us at everythingsdumbpod@gmail.com. You can send in your dumb ideas for dumb episodes to any of those platforms.
Like this if you
can like it.
Judgment.
If you like it. If you like it, you should like it. If you don't like it, you should like it to keep the government from learning too much about you.
Exactly.
I've solved all of your conundrums.
Exactly.
You're welcome.
The end.
The end. Talk to you on Monday about drugs. Laws. Drug laws. And drugs.
Probably drugs, too. I don't think we're just going to talk about the laws.
No. Not knowing you. Okay, bye.
Bye.